Kobe Bryant always came to Lakers practices. Stephen A. Smith spoke to Kobe, got a different story. Take a listen.
What I have to say is a quote from Kobe Bryant. I spoke to him yesterday. He says, quote, "I have never been to a single practice." Those were his exact words. Obviously there's going to be people who believe he's lying. I'm going to take him at his word because I don't have any proof that he's lying, number one. Number two, it's pretty easy to disprove. If you said that you haven't been to a single practice, that's pretty easy to disprove. But Kobe is not just smart, he's brilliant. So you have to also pick apart his words from time to time. When he says, "I haven't been to a single practice," that does not mean he hasn't been to the Lakers facility. It does not mean that he didn't have, conversations with teammates. I definitely believe it's plausible that Kobe could have talked to individual players about basketball, but I think the reason why Kobe felt the need to say that is because of something he had reiterated to me weeks ago. He don't have nothing to do with this Lakers mess.
Okay, we now bring in Dave McMenamin for more insight into the Lakers. And Dave, what can you tell us about what's happening behind the scenes in LA, and is Kobe silently pulling these strings?
Well, Laura, Lance Stephenson's account of Kobe Bryant's influence is patently false. I spoke to one team source yesterday who said Lance is mistaken. I spoke to another one who was around the team day in, day out since Kobe retired. And he told me that Kobe may have been in the facility once since he retired. He thinks there may have been another day when he was not there when he heard Kobe came around. But now Lance could be getting at the fact that Kobe has a relationship with a young core. We know Kyle Kuzma in particular has spoken on the record about his relationship with Kobe and how he's gone down to Newport Beach to glean some things from Kobe. But, to suggest that he has a relationship with Rob Pelinka mainly for the purpose of manipulation in order to, exert control over this team, even though he's moved on to Kobe Inc., and he's moved on to his best-selling book series, he's moved on to the Mamba Academy, it's kind of silly. I know he's Kobe, so we're going to talk about him, but I'm friends with Nick Friedell. Nick Friedell's busy with covering the Golden State Warriors. I'm not friends with him in order to, make sure that I put control over how he covers that team. Sometimes friendships are just friendships.
Okay, so from your time covering the Lakers, did you ever sense a power struggle at all between Magic and Kobe? Because there's been plenty of talk about a little bit of a Cold War going on between those two.
Laura, I haven't. Kobe has spoken in such reverent tones about Magic Johnson over the years. Let's talk about him being a child over in Italy and having his grandparents send him VHS tapes of these classic Lakers versus Celtics rivalries, and he would stick them in the VCR and watch in awe his idols. Kobe has said years and years and years, over and over and over, that Magic Johnson is one of the guys they always looked up to. So, whether Kobe is more loyal to Rob Pelinka than Magic Johnson, okay, that's fair. He probably is. That's maybe his best friend on this planet. And we know that Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson had a bit of a power struggle. But to suggest that that carries over to Kobe and he's trying to pit himself against a fellow Laker legend, I think is misguided.
All right, thanks so much, Dave McMenamin, for joining us and giving us that perspective on the Lakers.
All right, so this is fascinating. So that was not exactly what I was expecting to hear, but I'm actually glad that we did, because at least it makes some semblance of sense. It makes the Lakers feel a little bit less completely dysfunctional, because otherwise you have a Game of Thrones working where you got Kobe Bryant on one side and Magic Johnson on the other. Not only can't that work, but there isn't any obvious reason why anyone would be in on it. Richard Jefferson, you have a skeptical look on your face.
No. That's it. I'm just waiting for the next topic, what we're going to talk about. That's all. I'm just waiting. I believe everything that Dave said. I believe everything that Stephen A. said. I think this was a TMZ thing that Lance just kind of popped off and said, and we're addressing.
Why does Lance, was there any obvious reason why Lance would say that if it isn't the case?
It's tough sometimes when you get caught off guard like that. And, I know some guys that can't chew bubble gum and walk, and there's certain situations like that when people just come out and you just get in a tough situation where you just say pretty much anything or the first thing that comes to your mind. So you have to get your thoughts together before
the first thing that
make
came
a bold comment.
The first thing that came to Lance Stephenson's mind was Kobe Bryant was at all of our practices.
I'll tell you the first thing that comes to my mind, will he be a Laker next year?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
But that isn't really what we wanted to talk about here, because we can get into all that. At the end of the day, I think McMenamin just did a really good job of making this what it is. There's clearly a power struggle between Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. Kobe is very close to Pelinka, and so he is sort of set up as being on that side. Maybe there isn't a Cold War between those two Laker icons. Fine. It then begat a debate in our meeting yesterday that got so heated we decided we needed to bring it on the air. And Karan Butler, I'm going to start with you. Who is the greater Laker icon, Magic Johnson or Kobe Bryant?
I have to say Kobe Bryant.
Why?
And I say this for numerous reasons. I look at his global impact and what he's done and meant to the game of basketball. I also look at his tenure with the Lakers, having 2 jerseys retired there, scoring over, 33,000 points in that stint. I just think it's remarkable what he's been able to accomplish. 5 championships, closest thing to Michael Jordan I've seen.
Who at this table is Team Kobe in this debate?
I am.
Tell me why.
5 championships. I know Magic had 5. Magic won all 5 with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know you can make a case for Magic in that one where he jumped because when Kareem didn't play in that final. Kobe won 3 with Shaq, 2 without Shaq. He almost got a 3rd one without Shaq. And when you think about what it comes out, ESPN does a poll as far as popularity. I think popularity is the best metric for who an icon is. And they refresh it every 3 months. The top 4 basketball players in the world that have the most popularity, MJ, LeBron, Stephen Curry, Kobe. Guess where Magic ranks? 24th.
Oh, so you're talking about all the current day players, and then Michael Jordan, who is
you said iconic?
Okay, guys.
Isn't that what iconic means?
Then answer me a couple of questions, right? Kobe Bryant, all-time great. Kobe fans, don't go crazy. Kobe Bryant, all-time great. Magic Johnson is widely known, and no one here would disagree, as in saving the NBA. Magic Johnson here is widely known as the greatest point guard to ever play the game. Magic Johnson, everyone here would agree, is also known as changing the point guard position. When you talk about those 3 things, and we're like, oh, championships and this and that, that's fine. But the impact on the game of basketball that Magic Johnson had, that is disrespectful to one of our forefathers and a guy that none of us might not be in this position if he hadn't done with him and Larry Bird. Hadn't done, we might not be here. So to say that, oh, well, how many points? Dude, they were both great, but Magic Johnson is one of the most important sports figures in the history of America.
Go, DJ. Like we compared them to Sam Bowie or something. What is your issue?
Mine is very simple. You went from Dr. J to Magic and Bird, okay? And Magic and Bird carried the NBA, the 2 guys, for a decade into the Michael Jordan era. Can we say Kobe Bryant took the NBA from one point to another? As great as he was.
I can't say that, but I can say who's the most iconic figure ever to play basketball? Michael Jordan. Who's the closest thing you've ever seen to Michael Jordan? Who's the closest thing you've ever seen to Michael Jordan? Does it not fit that way a little bit, though?
But you always play for the respect of your peers. And I look at the 33,000 points that Kobe scored, and let's check this out.
Take your time.
All right, it's me, Kobe. Kobe had 30 points, average 30 points per game, 16. I averaged 16. That was our thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you got about 7,000 his points. He averaged like 28 against you, you averaged 6. Richard Jefferson, he averaged 24 against you, you averaged 12.
Okay.
RJ, same thing, 28, 10 points.
Yeah.
And y'all didn't get none of that work.
No, but here's the part. Go ahead.
Man, how many times did he beat me?
So you play for the respect of your peers.
How many times did he
your peers
win?
up here
I understand what
saying
you're saying about Magic.
See, but the only thing I'm saying is not that his greatness. He is all time.
He is.
But again, we're talking about the best point guard of all time and probably the second best 2 guard. We're talking. You're saying second best 2 guard.
Yes.
So, but my only thing is we're going to talk about who has changed the NBA, carried it. The NBA was having tape-delayed NBA finals, and now here we are talking about it 24 hours a day, and it's one of the most watched things in America. That would not have happened if it wasn't for Magic and Larry Bird that started off in the NCAA. Kobe is great, and unfortunately we have to hold it against them that all he did was continue to carry the torch.
Why do you keep saying Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time? It's not LeBron James? LeBron James is not a souped-up version of Magic?
No.
Really? LeBron's not a souped-up version of Magic?
LeBron James is the greatest small forward to ever play the game. Greatest small forward.
LeBron James is a point guard, bro.
Can we just sort of make sure that we're framing this the right way? If we're talking about all-time historical impact on the sport, it is, and this is not having to do with his Laker time, but Magic Johnson also played in and won the most famous and significant college basketball game that completely revolutionized the way March Madness. He created March Madness. He was on the Dream Team, and he and Larry Bird ushered the NBA into an entirely new era. This is why we had this debate yesterday, and we put the poll up on Twitter. I'd like to see what everyone else thought about this, because I was anticipating that Kobe would win this easily based upon the average age, I would imagine, of your Twitter user. My question was very simple.
Thank you.
Look at this. Stuns me.
But ladies and gentlemen,
25.
Not even half the people.
Wait, who's the demo? Who's the demo that follows Greeny? Hold on now.
Break this down. I'm probably in that demo, and I voted for Magic.
That may speak largely about the people who follow me. I don't know one way or the other, but 25,000 people voted, and Magic Johnson was an easy winner. Okay, we hope you will get up with us tomorrow morning, because we will be looking back on the critical Game 3 tonight. Will Game 4 be KD's Bay Area swan song? That's among the possibilities. Plus, we break down how Kawhi responded and the biggest NFL minicamp questions.